A load-bearing fiction is a fiction that people believe is true, but it isn't. It's like you think something happens because of something else, but it doesn't really happen that way. It's kind of reversed. It's the tail wags the dog, but in reality, the dog wags the tail. Does that make sense? When it comes to the Fed, what do you think the load-bearing fiction that most people think about with the Fed? Like, what do you like? What's the thing the Fed does that
When
we
they
all
raise
know to be true that the Fed does?
when they raise the rates, everyone else's rates are going to go up.
Interest rates, yeah.
Yeah, so it's around interest rates. Harry got it. Harry, and then Trusty was behind him with the right answer. It's around interest rates, but the load-bearing fiction is the Fed controls interest rates. And what this is showing, set to go. If you look at the Fed fund in the 2-year T-note or Treasury, the Fed is behind the Treasury. So the Treasury happens and the Fed just reacts. So the load-bearing fiction is that the Fed controls interest rates. The reality is the 2-year and the 10-year bond control interest rates, and the Fed just comes in behind it and adjusts and reacts. So the load-bearing fiction is there's control, but there isn't any control. So why is this relevant? Why do I talk about it?
Interest rates have a relationship to housing.
I mean, clearly, we wouldn't have talked about it if those things weren't related, but that's not the reason we bring it up. We talk about this stuff all the time. What's the reason we bring it up? Are we in a bull market are we in a seller's market or buyer's market?
Seller's market.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
in a seller's market. What are one of the things that changes from a buyer's market to a seller's market or a seller's market back to a buyer's market?
When interest rates go up.
Interest rates are 1, affordability is 2, inventory is 3.
Inventory,
So these are the types of things. Now, if you look at this, interest rates bottomed around somewhere between March and April of 2020, which is about here. And if you look at it, there's been an uptick. So interest rates were at about 0, and now the overnight rate is right around 1. So when you look at it, people are like, well, it's still pretty low. But if you look at it off of the bottom, it's actually raised a significant amount compared to the bottom. So what you have to pay attention to is where are those interest rate shocks? So the thing that people are looking at right now, we try and motivate people to sell to us at a certain price because of where the market is. As interest rates go up, pricing either stabilizes or comes back down. So there's an urgency builder for us because interest rates are ticking way up. And that's something that we can use to our advantage. We'll talk more about this over the coming weeks, but it's pretty interesting.